want you to pause the video for a moment and use your chart feature on your calculator to go ahead and fill in the chart like we did on page 69 of your notes. So at this point, pause the video and I'll be right back with you. These are the values that you should have gotten when you typed it into your calculator and used the table feature. So for y equals 1 over x, if you plot this or you just take a look at it on your calculator, you should see something that looks a bit like this, where on one side it goes down. I missed that point there. And on this side, it starts high and kind of tapers off. And if you plot this one, you'll notice that this one kind of shoots up pretty quick right here at x equals 0. And on the other side kind of does the same thing. So there's that mirror image about the y-axis that we were talking about before, where if I folded it over the y-axis, you'll see the same picture. So the question is, how do the graphs differ? Well, at x equals 0, so let's find where x equals 0 right here and right here. At x equals 0, notice your ends split. They go in opposite directions for an odd function. But at x equals 0, right here at x equals 0, the ends go in the same direction. So at x equals 0, our ends, so if it's a negative odd number, our ends are split. And if it's a negative even number, our ends are in the same direction. And I say the word end, it's not really the end of the graph, but just right there at x equals 0, we see the split here and going in the same direction here. That's what I mean by the ends, not necessarily out here at negative infinity and positive infinity. Determine the behavior of the function as x approaches positive infinity. Okay, now here we go. As x goes out here to positive infinity, what is our y values approaching? Well, notice it's not y equals 1. It keeps kind of shrinking down all the way down to really close to y equals 0. Same thing here. Notice as x goes to infinity, clear way out here, your y values get really, really close to y equals 0. So we can say y approaches 0. We can do this as x approaches positive infinity. We found that y approaches 0. Now if we're looking at x between 0 and 1, where is your x going? Between 0 and 1, where are your x or where are your y values going rather? So if I take a look at that, between 0 and 1, it appears my y values are shooting up here to infinity. Same thing here, between 0 and 1, my y values are shooting up to infinity. So as x approaches 0, y approaches infinity. Determine the behavior as x approaches negative infinity. So again, go to the x-axis, go out here to negative infinity. What's your graph getting close to? Now take a look at the y-axis. What number is it getting close to? Is it getting close to -1? No, it keeps on going up closer. Is it getting close to 0? Yeah, it's going to eventually get really, really close to the number 0. Same thing here. As you go to negative infinity, out here on the x-axis, your y values are sliding in closer and closer to y. Look at the y-axis. Y is 0. So as x approaches negative infinity or goes off to the left, your y values get really close to the number 0.